How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Trump just went after a company. He went after a company for raising prices due to tariffs. This is not the first time that he's done something like this, but it is pretty fascinating for him getting mad at raising prices when there are significant tariffs that have been introduced. We also have BlackRock swallowing up another 1,250 Bitcoin yesterday, a credit rating agency downgrading U.S. debt, and more. We have a whale that's buying, going long over $400 million on Bitcoin. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so that you can see future videos. Turn on the bell notification so you can see right when I post videos. Also, if you do want to trade crypto, there are links underneath the video. We had like 500 people sign up for WEEX yesterday. If you want to try out WEEX, you can start leveraging on WEEX. You can start getting access to extra capital. You can start trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, Sui, all these different cryptos. And you can do it safely when you just, use 2x or 3x leverage, or you can get more aggressive, obviously, with 50, 80, 100x. There's no VPN, and you don't need a KYC either. There are also links to BTCC, BitUniX, and both of those have deposit bonuses too. Now, Moody's just downgraded U.S. debt without it right in front of me. I don't remember. I think they went from like AAA to AA1 or something like that, basically citing the fact that the debt is getting out of control. We have too much debt, and right now the interest rate is fairly high too. So they are accumulating debt at a very quick pace. Now, this concerns some people. This happened right after the market closed on Friday. We've seen this coming. This is not the first time that this has happened. I think it's the first time that Moody's has downgraded the U.S. debt, but there are other rating agencies that have done this. This is why so many people like the thought of Bitcoin, because politicians can't just go out and issue more Bitcoin. Also, there's no, there's very minimal inflation right now. I think it's under 2% or 1% now from the miners, and there are people accumulating more than that in a year, like MicroStrategy. Accumulates more Bitcoin than that every single year, or at least the last couple of years. BlackRock has accumulated so much Bitcoin, so the supply is getting eaten up. Trump just went after Walmart. He said Walmart is raising prices due to tariffs, and they made billions of dollars, far more than anyone expected last year. They should not be raising prices and passing on the extra cost to consumers. They should eat it. Okay. On one hand, Trump wants the market to do well. On the other hand, he wants all these companies to eat tariffs. They're not going to do that. The fact is, some of them can't even do that. Like, there's not enough profit margin. They would go negative, and I guess Trump wants them just to start losing money. But keep in mind that they have a very specific objective. Right? They want to maximize shareholder value. And to do that, sometimes it's to make your customers happy and not increase tariffs or increase costs. Sometimes it's to keep your employees happy, so that way, there's less turnover, and that also goes back into lower costs and more profitability at the end of the year. But that's their main goal, is to create shareholder value. So if they think they can pass off that cost to consumers, they're going to do it. Right? So the fact that Trump is thinking that he can just tell them to eat the cost is kind of wild. This kind of has happened before. Remember when Amazon was thinking about, on part of their website, showing how much extra cost is from the tariffs? Like, they were talking about showing like an extra $15 because of the tariffs on this Chinese product. And then Trump said something about it, and then the next day they came out and said, oh, we were just thinking about that on part of the website. We're not even going to do it. Don't worry. That was something that they respond to very quickly. I remember Amazon stock, too, falling down pretty significantly. I don't remember the exact amount, but I want to say like 3 to 6% that day because of that, just being singled out by Trump. Now, I think a lot of these retailers, a lot of these low-margin businesses are in a difficult spot because, again, you get a 50 to 150% tariff on a product, you're going to pass that off to consumers. You're not going to eat that, because then you're literally losing money, and you're not going to get rid of it because it's something that people come in the store for, and this might be temporary too. So yeah, they're going to increase prices. That's just how it's going to work. But it'll be interesting to see what Walmart does, because again, him saying that they profited billions last quarter. Okay, they profited billions every single quarter for decades. Like, they're a massive company. You can't just expect them to not make money. Again, that's not their goal, right? That's not what they're willing to do if they don't have to. So yeah, they're going to keep on passing off the cost, and a lot of companies are, right? This is not just Walmart. So yeah, it's fascinating to watch that. BlackRock, like I said, buying 1,250 Bitcoin just yesterday. They bought 21 days in a row. They're not the only ones buying either. I just saw a whale that started a position. I think it was a $276 million long position on Bitcoin. Moved it all the way up to 400 million. This is a whale that's profited 40 million in the last month. So yeah, they're making a big bet on Bitcoin right now. I'm curious what they know. Do they know something we don't? We've seen this a lot on the weekends where whales open up big positions, and somehow there's some big piece of news. We kind of heard yesterday that there could be some resolution to Ukraine and Russia. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. There's no certainty with that, but maybe that's what they're betting on. Maybe they're thinking that that's going to happen over the weekend, or that there's going to be some big buying from some sovereign wealth fund, or maybe MicroStrategy announces a big buy Monday and they maybe are buying over the weekend. I'm not exactly sure. But again, you don't bet $400 million on Bitcoin just for fun, just because, right? They're doing it for a reason. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of it. Again, there's no certainty. We don't know that Bitcoin's going to pump, but it is interesting to watch. And oftentimes these whales are correct. Sometimes they get wiped out, to be clear, but a lot of the times they're correct. Again, if you want to trade, if you want to copy that trade, I would suggest just copying trades blindly. But if you do want to check out WEEX, there's a link to that underneath the video. I think that's one of the platforms too that has demo trading, so you can start practicing without using real capital. Overall, it's going to be, I think, a little bit of a quieter week in like macroeconomics. I don't think there's a ton of data coming out this week, and we also have less earnings as well. And then we'll start picking up towards the end of the month, maybe after this week, I think, is when we get PCE inflation. And then, yeah, we're in June and the next Fed meeting is coming. I hope you all have a great weekend. And yeah, things are again spicy. Bitcoin's within spitting distance. We've only ever closed above this price for 1 week. So yeah, things are getting interesting. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the links underneath, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.